All right. All right. Welcome to the Blindside Podcast. It is now time for a KSB Christmas. Hey, what is up? Welcome in. How are you doing? And happy Sunday evening to you. Hey, Kenny, how you doing? Welcome. Hopefully we'll get some other folks in here. I invited the other members of the group, and yeah. I got some other folks coming. All right, as we prepare everything underway here with everyone, I want everyone to know who will be listening. This is a KSB Christmas, and the concept is we're each going to share our KSB Christmas traditions and memories of when we were at the school. Hey, Jamie, welcome, my man. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, we got you, me, Kenny Jones.
Hi, Kenny.
Hello. How are you all doing?
I'm
We're
good.
doing great. I think I'm gonna go on and get started. We got a couple of us in. I'm sure people will come in eventually. So I want to welcome everybody to the Blindside Podcast. I'm your host, and this is a KSB Christmas. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to each share our favorite KSB Christmas traditions and memories. And as the three of us know, we all went to the school at different points. So I'm going to start with you, Kenny. What was your favorite? Do you have any particular Christmas traditions or memories that you would like to share from your time at the school?
Well, I better go ahead because I'm not going to be able to be on here long. But, one of the most outstanding, long-lasting traditions, is the Lions support for the students of KSB. And, of course, I've had the opportunity to benefit both sides of that as being a student and being so young and believing in Santa Claus and having Santa come and oh my, he was wonderful. Scotty, who was Santa for many years, he was Santa. I mean, he was just outstanding in the stories he would tell, and just was so wonderful with us as children. That definitely brings back a tremendous memory. And then once I got the opportunity to meet him as an adult and working there at the school, to find out what a fantastic person that he is, and just in general the Lions Club and their tremendous support for that Christmas program and for the students there. That to me overall is the greatest memory that I have, and still have the chance. Of course, this year with things going on, I'm not going to be able to do that, but hopefully in years to come, still have the opportunity to go and enjoy that Christmas program, along with, of course, the students' performance in before Santa comes.
All right, and I want to elaborate on that because I remember being a part of those performances.
Oh, yes.
On the music side, and Jamie, I'm sure you remember this too.
Oh, yes.
The performance at times.
Oh, yeah. And there was always the. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, continue.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, they did go on very long. By the way, this is Jamie. They did go on very long, and I always remember there was two Christmas things. There was the one at nighttime, which was maybe sometimes a day or two before, and then there was the Christmas that Kenny was talking about with Santa. That was more like a morning right before lunchtime thing, and I participated in both of those, and if I could share a funny story.
Sure.
Okay. By the way, hello, Kenny. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing all right, and hope your family's doing good with this whole COVID nonsense and stuff. I hope you guys are staying safe, and as are you, Tim, and everybody else. Good to hear. Good to hear and see. Well, good to hear from you. Anyway, so I remember one Christmas. I was in the music program. I was in choral music that year. It was my. And remember, it was Dorothy Nolan, of course, great music teacher.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
God, she's got to be pushing 90 by now. I mean, she's.
Oh, I know.
Because aside from, she's also a runner, and I've I've seen her.
Oh
I've seen her at a
yes.
couple races.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I've seen her at races. And anyway, so it was Christmas. I think I was like 14 or 15, and we were going to sing Silent Night. The chorus is going to sing Silent Night. And I'm thinking, you see, and I have never. People say I'm a good singer. I do not like singing. I do not like singing in public. I can play violin and I can play drums in public, and I can do anything. Singing in public is something, at least at that time, I was not ready for. And so we're getting ready. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll sing, and I'll be buried in the background, but the focus won't be on me. It'll be focused on all of us, and there'll be, 10 other people singing with me, so it won't just be me. So I'm thinking, great. So anyway, I'm sitting in the audience waiting for my time to come up, and then I hear Miss Nolan say, "Jamie Weedman will now sing White Christmas for us," and I'm thinking, "What do you mean? I'm gonna do it?" And I walked up.
boy.
I walked up to Miss Nolan, and I'm speaking very calmly so nobody can hear. Wait, Miss Nolan, I thought the whole chorus was gonna sing this. What do you mean I'm gonna sing? Oh no, Jamie, we decided it was gonna be you singing. Oh boy. And so I'm sitting there, the piano accompaniment starts, and I'm opening my mouth, getting ready to sing, and everybody. Apparently, I did pretty well, but I could tell Miss Nolan could tell I was a little nervous because about halfway into it, right before the second chorus comes on, she says, "Let's all help Jamie sing this song. Ready?" And then they all join in, and I'm like, "Oh, thank God." I did not think I was going to be the only singer. I thought it was going to be like 10 of us, and I was just going to provide like the harmony or the low part or something. But I had to do the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember that because I was a part of that too. I don't think I was in the choral department, but I was in the violin part that year
at the time.
No, oh yeah. And, I remember, I think it was either that one or maybe the 98 Christmas or the 2000 Christmas. I forget which one.
Uh-huh.
Hey, what's up? Welcome. We're just sharing our favorite traditions, KSB Christmas memories and traditions. So basically what happened was we all had to sing Silent Night, the whole chorus thing, right? And Jason Dow, I'm sure you remember him. He, went to. Does anyone in the group remember Chris Craigmile?
Yes.
Yes.
Who all joined? Did somebody just join?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Matt. What up, man? Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, yeah, it's been a while since I've
Hey,
Jamie Weedman, how are you, sir?
I'm all right.
Oh, man, it's good to hear from you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey. All right, so we're all doing Silent Night, right? So Jason Dowell goes to Chris Craigmile and straight up tells him, "You're singing English first, then German." I'm thinking, oh, dear God, Chris, do not screw this up. Do not mess this up. Because if we were messed up, we were going to have to start from the beginning. And I was just like, oh, God, please, God, Chris, don't mess up. And he didn't mess up. So that was one of my favorite Christmas memories of the concerts. So, Matt, do you have any favorite Christmas memories or KSB Christmas traditions you would like to share?
I have a ton. I don't know where to start, but I remember the open houses that we would have in the
yes.
dinner. We had one the night before, and then we would have one the day of. Where
we were just
good times there. I remember being in the dorms, and they had all the decorations up, and that was a fun time. I remember one time I was extremely sick for one of these, and I couldn't make it to the bingo thing that we did every year. And I had I had a person bring me back some gifts from there, and I'm thankful for that. But you become extremely thankful for the stuff that you had when you were a kid, when you're an adult now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, looking back, my thought was, with COVID going on and all this, we as KSB alumni and former staff need to get together and do something for Christmas, because they're not going to have the Christmas program this year. They're not going to have all these traditions. And I was thinking we could maybe impart some wisdom on the new generation of KSB students and staff that may not be familiar with some of the traditions that we had. So, okay, getting to the open house, the one right before, there would be two of them. The one in the dorm, which I loved that because we would go to the food center. Well, when I was younger, we used to have it in the rec.
Yeah, so did
I
I.
remember that.
Right. Yeah, it was in the rec. And then they moved it to the food service. Well, I remember one year, I think they goofed up on our gifts because all the teenagers were getting all this stuff that was more geared for a younger audience. Yeah, they were giving the teenagers Power Ranger comic books and Barney toothpaste. I'm like, what is this?
Now, did we ever figure out who provide? I mean, I know the Lions Club provides the gifts, but do they just go Target or?
I don't know, but I think what they did that year, they must have been a mix-up as far as the age ranges, because I was like floored when I believe it was Jeremy Kalen.
Oh wow!
Got a Power Ranger comic book with 3D glasses. I'm like,
Jeremy
what?
Kalen. I've not heard that name in a while.
Wow.
Oh no. And so Kenny, do you have any other Christmas traditions of living in the dorm or Christmas memories of being in the dorm that you would like to share?
Of course, I went to school back in the 70s, and just goes to show how long traditions, go on. But you guys, I know you are 90 guys, and, we had, that as well. We had the contest in the dorm about the best decorated room, and
Oh yes.
so, that was always fun to be able to, decorate your room and all this Christmas lights and tinsel and trees or whatever you wanted to use. And, we too always had, a Christmas party and that sort of thing. So, that definitely was very enjoyable, in regards to the dormitory experience. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and share this one because this is a funny memory that I have about the dorm,
Share
the
that, and I'll have a
dormitory.
funny one too.
Let's see how. I don't think you all would know her, but I'm trying to think of a relative. Let's see, who was a relative of Dolores Good? Charlie Good. You all know
Gail Good.
Charlie. Remember
Yeah.
Charlie Good? That's,
Gail Good. Yeah, we
from
know
the house
Gail
party
Good.
days.
he had a mother there. Her name was Dolores Good, and you just got to know this lady. She was an assistant. She's a teacher's assistant, just a real sweet, kind lady and everything. But you know how the staff would come and look at our rooms and that sort of thing. We invited to the Christmas party, but you would not expect this from her. But she came and she was just enjoying our room and that sort of thing. But she was plastered.
Really?
Oh God! Oh Lord!
And it was just hilarious, and we just had such a ball with her and that. And, she was an older lady. She's probably in her 50s or 60s, and it was just hilarious.
Oh man!
Oh no! She was drunk and looking at rooms at Christmas. Oh,
she had a little
boy.
of the Christmas spirit in her.
Those kind of things.
A little bit.
Happen.
Yep, they do.
I have another funny Christmas memory, if I can say real quick. I'm not going to dominate the conversation, obviously, but I wanted to give one more that I just thought of, because I was thinking of what can I talk about on this podcast with Christmas stuff and involving Christmas. And this was about, I think I was 16 or 17 at this time. This is the later days, and I was going to band practice, or not band practice. I was going to the the Christmas concert because I was playing, and I was in the band that year, and I was playing drums in the band. And you mentioned Jason Dow, and that's kind of one reason why made me think of this. So Jason Dow was dating this girl at the time. I think it was his only girlfriend while he was there, but I don't know. He may have had a couple others, but I can't remember. But anyway, so he was dating this girl, and she had a present for him. Or she had a couple of things she wanted to give to him, but she wasn't able to see him, so she thought I would see him before she did, because he was going to be, so she gives me the gifts that she wanted to give him, and she's like, "Hey, could you take this to him?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I've got my hands full, my cane in one hand, and my cane and something else in the other, and a present in the other. I like my hands full. And I asked one of the students, I said, "Hey, could you hold the classroom door open for me? I've got a bunch of stuff to carry." Well, he held the first door open for me, but the second door that goes right out into the yard, he didn't hold that one open. And so that door went slamming right in my face. I lost my balance completely, fell backwards, banged my head as hard as I could on the pillar. So my head, I was bleeding. But I was like, okay, I'm bleeding, but I'm not going to do anything about this. I'm just going to continue with my day. Nothing's going on.
You're determined.
I was determined. And I didn't want to mess up my day because I've been working hard for this concert, and I wanted to do it. So I walk over to the music building with fresh blood dripping in my eyes, looking like a WWF wrestler.
Yeah, the Crimson Mask.
Yeah, and so I walk in there. Everyone's looking at me. I walk up to Brett Domke. God bless. Late Brett. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
Oh man. Awesome.
So I walk up to him. I said, "Dude, look at this. If anybody appreciates this, I think you will." And he goes, "Holy shoot, dude! You look like someone from WWF or something." and then Craig Allen walks over and says, "Jamie, go to the daggone nurse." I said, "No, it's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it." And I walked past Deanna Scoggins. Didn't say anything. She didn't know anything about it because she was totally blind, so she didn't know anything to say anything. So I just saw her over to the drums, just setting up, warming up, playing on the drums while there's blood dripping on my face.
No big deal.
There's a music teacher at the time who's not there anymore. I don't know if you remember her. She ended up leaving. She only worked there for like a year. You probably don't remember her. Her name was. I remember her name. It was Lisa Dickens.
I do remember.
I remember Lisa.
Counselor / music teacher.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
It's weird. She started out as the music teacher, and then she informed everybody that she had a degree in counseling and decided to be the counselor instead. But anyway, that's her story to tell. But anyway, so she comes over to me.
Yeah.
And says, "I just called the nurse. They're expecting you. Go." Oh, well, God. If you called them, all right. So I walk over to the nurse's station. And I'm not going to mention any names I don't want to say anything bad about anybody here, but I walk over to the nurse's station. I got blood all over my face. And the nurse goes, "Okay, so before we fix you up, let's talk about how this happened." And I said, "With all due respect, ma'am, could you just fix my head and talk?"
I've got
a cut forehead here. Could we just focus on that? And it's like, okay. So then she focused on it. That was that. And so I ended up having to go to the hospital and get stitches.
Oh my!
Because they couldn't legally. I guess they couldn't do that at the school, so they had to take me to the hospital to get that done. So then my mother ended up picking me up. She had to come from. She was still working at the time. Excuse me. So she had to come over and pick me up. Or no. Let me backtrack there. I missed a step. So while I'm in the hospital, my mother comes to the party because she wants to watch me perform. So she comes into the office to check in and says, "Hi, I'm here to see my son Jamie Weidman." And they say, "Oh, he's in the hospital." And she's like, "In the hospital? He went to the hospital 2 hours ago when he left the house this morning." And they're like, "I don't know, something with his head or something." And then she ends up meeting me over at the hospital while I'm getting stitched up. And And so anyway, it was just a really weird day because I was really looking for the music director and the other person that was working with the band director, who I think was a volunteer. He was really looking forward to me playing, and it was just it was one of those things you can laugh at now, but it was really kind of scary back then. But it was an interesting story to tell, to say the least.
Oh yes. All right. So, Matt, do you remember the Christmas parties we used to have in Ms.
I do
Oaks'
remember
dorm?
that. There was all these boys hanging around, and again, KSB was a place that was away from home, so when you were there, you were family.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You got to know all of these people from everywhere that you'd never seen before. It came in from other places in Kentucky. So you got to become family with these guys and girls, and I remember the parties that we used to have. Absolutely.
Oh yes, I have a story regarding the parties. My late grandparents would always bake a cake, a snowman cake, and you may have been there for this, Matt, but they I would always bring in the big snowman cake with the white frosting and the red and green decorative sprinkles on it.
Yeah, I do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, my late grandparents, God rest their souls, brought that. It would always make sure I had that to take every single year. And, the late Mrs. Oaks would always, make sure we had snack and drink. It was a good time. So, Kenny, do you remember those parties with Ms. Oaks?
No, not necessarily with Linda. I mean, Elizabeth.
No, Elizabeth.
I'm sorry. I heard you say that.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
But I'm sure you cannot, you guys have stayed in her dorm. I mean, you mentioned Elizabeth. You mentioned a fantastic lady. I'm telling you, she was wonderful. Oh, yes. She's one of a kind.
She was. Yeah. She was amazing.
Oh yes, and would you guys like to hear a Christmas story that really holds near and dear to my heart? I remember we were in Coach Mann's gym class. I don't know if you were in this, Matt or Jamie.
We must have been little bitty then. He retired in '95, so
94, 95, somewhere in there. But yeah, it was maybe 91 or 92. So all us guys were in his class, and his Christmas it was the week, before we were going to go home for Christmas. It was the Friday before, and his Christmas present to us was getting to go over to the rec. And I remember this because that, he kind of sat us down before we went over and said, Christmas is about those you love and those you care about. And, with what all he's going through and all that, I know he couldn't, unfortunately, join us on this, so I kind of wanted to do this one for him. He taught not only me and my class, but I'm sure a bunch of other classes the true meaning of Christmas, that it's not about the things you get or give, it's those you love and those you care about.
That's right. He nailed it.
He was even though I was a very young child when he retired, I know, from knowing him and from hearing other people that have known him, and I haven't seen him in forever, but I'm sure he'd love to hear about all the accomplishments I've done, being a runner and everything. And but I do remember how dedicated he was to those students. I mean, he really was a fantastic man.
Well.
Oh yes. So Kenny, do you have any Coach
I'll
Man
tell you,
Christmas
he really loved this time of year a whole lot, and he goodness, I cannot begin to tell you the generosity that he showed people. But one thing that he definitely always did, as a wrestler and coaching with him, he would get he would get things from food service,
right?
Such as juices and those kinds of things for when we would go on, our wrestling meets in town and that sort of thing to get us, refreshed after our match, and it's just a lot of things we relied on, the food service for. But one thing that he always did for them was he always bought them a gift every year, and never failed. And he would have us as wrestlers, and me when I was coaching with him, we would all, know about this gift. We would all sign that gift, and the card that went along with that gift. But he also, in addition to that, he loved the Christmas program. I mean, he just absolutely loved the Christmas program. And of course, we mentioned Miss Nolan. Usually there was some type of play or that
Right.
sort of thing. One, and usually you would always hear him laughing. He had that really distinct laugh.
Oh,
I
yes.
remember
It just seemed to
Yes, that
fill
laugh.
up a room. And it's just a really special time of year for him that he really enjoys.
Oh, yes. So, Matt, do you have any? Would you like to share an open house Christmas story? Not the program, but the open house in the dorm. Do you have any stories regarding that?
None that I can really think of off the top of my head. Like I said, I just remember that was a really good time of year. It was always really decorated. Now, sharing my memories of the Mrs. Nolan and the plays that we used to have. Those were amazing.
Those are
I remember
fun.
being a part of Scrooge.
I was about to say that too.
Yeah.
And they did
loving
that
too. I remember my parents being there for that. And
so were mine.
you had everybody's parents just coming in and participating and being a part of it, and it was amazing. It was nice.
And me and Matt were the two youngest kids in that play because we were I was about 9 or 10. I guess Matt was 6 or 7, and everybody else were in high school. And I remember it was I played I played little boy Scrooge. It was it was a flashback sequence in the play where Ebenezer's being visited by the ghost being visited by Jacob Marley. Who weirdly enough in the play was played by a girl. But anyways, so it was myself. I think I remember Matt Sorrell played Scrooge. He was the main.
He made Scrooge.
I remember that. I remember that.
And
he
then
made that part.
Jason, I think Jason Keaton was in there. I think he played Bob Cratchit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who else?
I was trying to think of who played the ghost of because whoever played the ghost.
I'm trying to think.
Nailed that part too.
Wasn't Charlie Turner, I think, in that play?
Gosh, I don't know.
I think.
This was a long time ago. A lot of.
Oh, I know. We're going back way far. So as for open house in the dorm, you would go to the Rec or Food Center. I touched on earlier about how they switched up the gifts. They kind of got them mixed up. But I remember one year, it was 1999. I was about 16. And, us older guys, we thought, okay, they're going to forget about us. Yep. This is more for the younger kids. They call my name, right? I go up to see Santa. He's like, how do you like them Wildcats, man? I'm like, oh, yeah. And how do you like, WWF? And And I get this big red and green tin, right? I didn't know what was in it. I shook it trying to figure it out. I get home with it because we couldn't open it up at the school. We had to save it for home because we had other Christmas goodies. I'm sure you guys remember this, baking Christmas candy to take home to your families in the dorm before going home for Christmas. So we did that, and then when I got home with it, I opened it up. It was a big thing of red and green peanut M&Ms. Does anybody have any stories about the open house in the dorm and getting any memorable gifts that really stood out to you?
I remember getting like a Power Wheels thing when I was real young. This is, of course, when I was like 4 or 5, and I took it home and I messed with that thing, a lot. And I just want to stress that, these were people, you had people like, Mr. Kenny Jones that's with us now, but you have you had teachers and people there that were passionate about what they did, and that really they cared
Oh
about the
yes, they
kids that were
cared.
there. And I just want to stress that was really nice that they put all that together. And yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, and looking back at it, they did it because they wanted us to have a good Christmas, before we went home to be with our families. And Kenny, I'm sure you might remember this, but wasn't it there a time when students would stay there for Christmas?
Well, I mean, as long as there were occasions where students had to, it was an exception, not a rule. It was
Mm-hmm.
never a rule. That was usually a time where kids did get to go home. But of course,
Mm-hmm.
I can recall being told there were instances, we're talking years and years and years ago, where it wasn't possible. At one time, kids only went home twice a year, and Christmas was one of those times,
Right.
So, um,
Was that when
Mm-hmm.
you were there?
no,
Yeah.
that's a little
Okay,
bit
so that was
before
before
me.
you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, we went
Okay.
home about once a month. Um, when I was there.
When did they start going once a week?
Once a week. I don't know. I think it was the late '80s, early '90s. It was after that.
Oh,
I
right when we
think
started.
it was. Actually, but I believe to answer your question, Jamie, it was
Yeah, I know from
the
me
early
it was
'90s, because when
weekly.
I started back in '88, when I started, it was
See, I was
still
a day
once a month.
student through most of my schooling there, so that's why I didn't know. But anyways,
Mm-hmm.
but I did
Right.
know that because Mr. Oates or Cloyd used to talk about that.
Yeah, Cloyd.
That guy could
Yes.
write a
By the way.
history book on
Yeah,
KSB.
he
He's so
could. Yeah.
knowledgeable.
Oh,
Oh
without a
yes, he
doubt.
could. And if Cloyd and Linda are listening, I do want to, wish them a Merry
Yeah, I
Christmas and
wonder what
Happy
they're
New
up to
Year.
nowadays.
Yeah,
I think they own a bar or something
I
like
heard.
that.
If they do,
That's what
that's
somebody
pretty
told me.
neat. That's awesome that
I
they
don't know
got
if that's for
to
sure, but
Oh, I know.
have something like that after being a part of KSB. Yeah, yeah.
Of KSB for so many years.
Well,
So,
guys, I've got to
remember.
go because the missus is calling. But it's been a
All right.
pleasure. But I'll tell you one thing. I think we'd be really remiss if you didn't talk about, Dorothy Nolan a little bit, because I'm telling you, when it came to
Oh,
Christmas and
oh,
preparation
oh yeah.
She really.
for
oh,
the
she
Oh,
was on it.
program, and
She was
she
the.
was just
Oh man,
awesome
she
in
did
that. And
nailed it.
one memory I'd like to share real
Nailed it.
quick, and this was probably before you guys were at school, or you might have been, I don't know. But what we decided to do one year was we had an alumni chorus, and it was for the Christmas program. So it was people back from the 50s all the way up through the 80s that could join this group. And Miss Nolan brought us together once a week in preparation for a Christmas program. It was really awesome. It was current students there at the time that joined us, and we had a performance. Sang some Christmas songs, and it was really a great performance, and just a real opportunity also to, for the kids at that time to meet some of us old people, and just to share that experience. It was really fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember with Miss Nolan in Christmas preparation. She held nothing back and she pulled no punches. If you weren't performing the way you needed to in practice, you knew about it. Because she wanted the
she,
absolute
She
best
got
in
it.
yeah,
the
she
concert.
did. If you were playing a
Oh
violin
yeah.
or a
Oh
cello or
yeah. Oh yeah.
viola, she really expected a lot of you, and that was well
Yes, she
placed
did.
because you knew that you were gonna deliver a really good performance.
Well, like I said, guys, it was
Oh
fun. You
yes.
guys have a
And
wonderful holiday season and a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You too,
Absolutely,
Kenny.
Kenny. Thank you.
you too, Kenny. You too,
All
Kenny. I look
righty,
forward
take
to
care.
having you on the next one.
Kenny, we'll have to get together sometime soon, buddy.
All
All
Take care
right.
of
righty.
yourself. Bye bye.
All right. So that was Kenny Jones. And so now he was talking
Yes.
about Dorothy Nolan. I remember, like I said, one time, and we all had to, uh, and remember, get the recreation department one thing each year, like they would get.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that.
Matt, do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. That was a really good time.
Oh yeah. If you would like, I'd like to share a story about, and I don't know if both of you guys are here for this or not, but I remember, I think it was either 98 or 99.
Mm-hmm.
We were all like, oh yeah, we get to have, Killer Instinct and all this. Then, we got to have that at the rec, that system and whatnot. And many of you all remember, let's see, we're doing Christmas.
I mean, I remember playing the game myself.
Daytime Christmas. Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
So, do you remember how we would, before we would go home, we would each get a gift from, the Lions Club on the Friday of the concert. Remember that?
I do. Absolutely. I remember my parents being present for one of these, and we would all just sit around the table and we would go through the lunch line. And I want to, because I wasn't here on the last stream, I kind of want to talk about the cafeteria ladies for a minute. The cafeteria ladies,
oh, yes.
They did their job, and I appreciated their the food there more as I got older. Now, when I was younger, I was more picky. But yeah, as I grew to be older, I really appreciated what they did and things like that. But yeah, as far as the Christmas thing goes, I do remember sitting, with all the families would come in and they would sit around the table, and they would call students up one by one, and you would get your gifts, and that would be that, and you'd go back with your family.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I remember. Now, I never sat around for Christmas dinner. I always went home. Like I would go get my gift and go eat like on the road because it was just easier to do it that way. And I didn't want, my family didn't want to sit through that long line of people.
Yeah.
To get our lunch. And boy, when they did Christmas dinner, they went all out.
Turkey, dressing.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
man.
sauce.
Yes. I believe it was turkey dressing, cranberry sauce, mac and cheese, oysters. They had green beans.
Yeah, it was all really good. I mean, and you could tell like a lot of work went into that.
Oh yeah, I mean, looking back, I wish I would have stayed for them dinners because I heard a lot of good things about them, but I thought of it as it's just Thanksgiving rehashed because we would do Thanksgiving dinner there too, and I remember one year one of the most memorable gifts I got from the Lions Club, not at the open house for the dorm, but for the actual day itself, was a roller bag. A bag, a duffel bag with wheels on it, and I still have it to this day.
That's pretty neat. That is.
Yeah.
I still have it, and and then I got another bag. It was a red and white bag, and I believe I gave it to my little nephew, but I still, would have it's just little keepsakes like that, man, that really brings the point home of with what's going on today in the world and what we've got going on. It's important for these traditions to stay alive, and I don't think they are at KSB. I could be wrong, but do you guys workshop?
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
What is it again? My phone kind of cut out. I'm sorry about that.
Santa's workshop. Your family or friends or whatever. I do have kind of a funny story about that. I was doing that, right? I was in there shopping, and I saw these little thumb wrestlers, right? I got a little greedy. I didn't know anybody that would want these. I thought, I'll pick these up for me, I just didn't tell them that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't, and then I remember they had like little knickknacks, small things you could buy for your family or friends or whatever. And then I remember the Monday night, I think, you may remember this, Matt and Jamie, we would all go caroling.
Yeah, I do. I remember.
Yeah.
We would all go caroling. And I remember it was 1999. It was 1999. We all went to Mr. Ricks's house after caroling, and we got to watch his big screen TV, and you won't believe what we all decided to watch.
Monday Night Raw.
Yep, that's what we did.
Wait, did he watch it with you guys?
Yes, we all just sat around, watched WWF wrestling.
What did he think of it?
Ate cookies. I don't remember. But we were all just enamored by his TV and how big it was. Yeah. We didn't care about what he thought.
It was fun. We just sat around that thing and we watched wrestling. Like, look, this is amazing that we're even getting to do this in someone else's home.
To do this, yeah. I know. And then but each day of that week, they had something fun for us to do. And do you remember how the teachers would lax on the homework?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They would lax on that big time because they knew we had stuff to do.
But going back to Santa's workshop, I remember my parents giving me a $50 bill. And I go in, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be sneaky. So I went into the lounge area. I don't know if y'all remember that. But I went into the lounge area there, and there was a snack machine. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and put a $50 bill. And, of course, I was like 8 or 9 into the snack machine. And thinking I was going to get something out of it. I put it in there. Teacher walks in, and, boy, I just get scolded. And I was, but I remember that. I remember going and buying stuff for my sisters and my mom and stuff.
Oh yeah, like I would buy for my family too. And then were you either of y'all involved in Cub Scouts?
Yes.
Okay. Remember how the Cub Scouts would always go and sell Christmas cards
at
Kroger?
Yes. I remember when we were at Kroger distinctively and being outside, and you heard the guy ringing the bell out there, and there was carols playing, and you knew it was around that time of year, and it really put you in the spirit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they did that. We did that. I kind of remember a funny story involving the late Tim Martin. I'm sure both of you guys remember him. Yeah. Well, one year we all went to leave and go back to school. Well, Tim Martin wasn't on the bus. He kind of got left there. And if he would have been there just a little bit longer, he could have sold some more cards. He was there still selling Christmas cards. And so, like a champ, he toughed it out and did his thing. But I remember doing that at Christmas time. I don't know if it was at Christmas. It may have been after. We did a thing to help feed the hungry in Louisville. Do y'all remember how we would help with that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, around every Christmas, we would always gather canned goods or non-perishables, and we would donate to the food pantry or to God's Pantry or something to help those in need. And like I said, with the way things are now, we couldn't have. I'm sure KSB's Christmas traditions won't be the way that we remember them.
They'll get back to it eventually, though, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But for this year, I wanted to throw this so we could kind of share our favorite KSB memories at Christmas and share our favorite memories and whatnot, and show, and just kind of tell some stories about that, because with the younger students that are at KSB now, kind of give them ideas used to do back in the day. And do you all remember? I remember hearing stories about how they would sing carols in the food service at lunchtime.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I don't think they did that when I was there. That might have been before me, but I have heard stories.
Yeah, I think they did it. I remember when you were there.
You do? Okay, I might not just be remembering right, but yeah, they did a lot of great things, and it was great. I'm going to try to add someone here and get somebody in on the get somebody in here on the show here to kind of
And I remember, especially on Christmas, this memory. I have this. So we would go home every week, right on the bus, and so we would get like a snack bag every week, and especially for then, that time of year, they would really pack it with like extra goodies, and you would have chocolate and extra fruit and stuff on your way home. And my trip was where I lived was so far away from the school that it was like an 8-hour trip. That I was really glad to have all that stuff.
Oh yeah, they were goodies in our bags, and I remember how at the thing for the food for the open house, they would give us like Christmas cake and gumdrops, and
oh yeah,
they would give us punch. Remember, I don't know what they put in that punch. I think it was soda and something else.
Lots of sugar.
Yeah, it was sugary, and it was really, really fizzy, and it was great. The one thing that I remember, getting older, I would always appreciate the programs because not just of what we did, but just the fact that that it was the time of the year to be with those you cared about, as Coach Mann said, and to be thinking of others who were in need, not of ourselves, but who were in need, but those who might be in a worse situation. He would always reiterate, and I'm sure you guys remember this. He would always tell us, just because we have a visual impairment, there were people out there that were in much worse situations.
Oh yeah.
That could have been, homeless, or could have been in a situation, and to always, you know. So I remember that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So do
there
you all
was
have any?
a lot of. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So do you all have any stories about any life lessons that you learned from any staff or house parents during the Christmas season at KSB?
I think you said it best, man. Coach Mann was very much about giving in the season.
Oh yeah.
I just remember when when I was little, we would do. And now this isn't necessarily a school thing for the whole school. It was just something we did as kids when we were in elementary school. I think I was like second or third grade. You remember Timmy? We'd be in Mrs. Welsh's
yes,
class.
Miss Welsh.
Yeah.
And we would be making, and during the holidays, we would make Christmas cookies.
Oh yeah.
One year we did an actual holiday feast where we made turkey and dressing.
Yes, that was good.
And we spent the whole day getting ready for it
because
they were just showing us how to, kind of like giving us like a home ec lesson, if you will.
Right.
Now, who remembers like the Spanish Christmas where we did things a little bit differently that year?
I believe I remember that. It was a theme. We were studying Mexico's Spanish and Spanish culture. I remember we had a piñata.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we'd be trying to whack that thing and get that thing to break. And oh man,
that was really fun. They really changed a lot of things up there. It was never really all the same. It was different just about every year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. I think as part of that lesson, I think we went to eat at 2 Mexican restaurants.
Yes.
Yeah. We went to Taco Bell and
Chi-Chi's. Yes, and Chi-Chi's.
Which is, if you think about it, it's kind of funny that we went to Taco Bell and we're studying Mexican cuisine, because that's like the most Americanized, monopolized.
Oh, I know. It's the most monopolized.
Like, there's so many places we could, I don't know if the place exists. It probably didn't exist back then, but there's a really good Mexican authentic place. Yeah, you think,
yes,
if those places were around back then, we probably would have gone to one of them.
Oh, I know.
But
I've got a kind of a side story. It's not really a Christmas thing, but I want to share this anyway. It was 2002. I was in Nepal with a friend, and she and I ordered our dinner, and we, ate. I ordered the taco salad and I put the red hot sauce on it. Okay, this isn't a big deal. Then I put the green sauce. I was like, what's this? It was the extremely hot sauce. My face turned fire engine red. It was Christmas light red, boys. But, the point was, we did that. And then we did, I think, each year it was different because they would switch it up, which was good because we got to learn how other countries of the world would do Christmas.
Yeah.
And, I look back and now as an adult, I'm sure you guys do too. But do you have any memories that you look back on at KSB and wish that you could just go back and relive them?
Oh yeah, I have dreams all the time
of
of me being at KSB, and some of the teachers and staff are like, "Hey, what are you still doing here? What are you doing? It's been like 15, 20 years at this point. And you're still here. What are you doing?" And yeah, I still have dreams of being there and reliving some of that stuff that we used to.
Oh, I know. I remember. I just think back around this time of year, and where things are different this year, obviously. But, I think back, I cherish the memories that I have of that time because it taught me a lot. Hey, what's up, Karen? How you doing?
I made it.
All right, Karen, we're doing our KSB Christmas traditions and memories. Do you have any that you would like to share?
I don't know. I could go with the year I got the mumps.
Okay.
I didn't get to go to the Christmas party that they had every Thursday, and you got a sack lunch, and you got a gift. I did get my gift, but I didn't get to join the party, and I was very sad about that. I was 9, but I loved our Christmas plays that we did. We did a play. We did the Christmas Carol. That was fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think Jamie was telling us earlier about when he was in that play too.
I was.
And also, Karen, we were talking about Coach Mann. Do you have any fond Christmas memories of Coach Mann?
No, but I wasn't really in his class or one of the wrestlers, so not really. I remember him laughing at some of those plays. You could hear he had a very distinctive laugh.
Yes, he did. And Kenny was on here earlier talking about how Coach, he would always buy the food service a gift because the food service would provide, juices for the wrestlers and things like that for when they were going on meets and things of that nature. And I remember him, and I told this earlier, him teaching us the true meaning of Christmas in his own way. So yeah, do you remember the big open house we have in the dorms where we would have to decorate our rooms? And
yes, we never did that in Merwin, but Hunting did that every year.
Oh man,
we decorated. We just didn't have a contest.
Oh yeah, well, when I was there, we had a contest, and I remember it was my junior year. It was the year before I left for public school, and we had the contest, and me and my roommate, for the listeners out there who know him, Daniel Johnson.
I do. Yes, I remember this guy. Yep.
Yeah, he was my roommate, and we tried our hardest to win that contest, but I don't think we won that year. We just didn't get it done. So Karen, do you remember the going caroling and all during the evenings?
Oh yeah, we'd go Christmas caroling. And we usually ended up having hot chocolate at the Evans house.
Yes, I was telling the story about how when I went one year, it was me and a bunch of us. We all went caroling, and then after that, we went to Mr. Rick's house. We had cookies and hot chocolate.
Yeah.
He had fresh, homemade, fresh out the oven chocolate chip cookies.
Oh,
they were so good.
They were really good.
And then we would have those, and then we would have those. We would have, and then we were watching his big screen TV, watching WWF, and it was just little things like that, that showed us, hey, they did care about us enough to invite us into their homes and to be with them and enjoy the season with them.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, during with the current state of the world, let's do a KSB themed Christmas in our own way, to kind of show the younger folks what it was like. So, Karen, do you have any memories of Santa's workshop?
Yes, but they're very vague. Um, I, I I don't remember it well. I don't. Did somebody make things and they sell them, or I can't remember exactly how that worked.
I think they went and got stuff for us to
Yeah, I
buy
think they were like
because
stock items from other places that.
yeah, I think they went to Walmart or Big Lots or somewhere like
Mhm.
that, and they would get us stuff to buy, and we would buy it at the workshop for our families.
Yeah, I don't think they did that for us every year because I think if they did, I'd remember it better than I do. And they
Hmm.
might have started it afterwards, and I might remember thinking I wish that well they would have done that for us, but it's very vague.
Hmm.
I can't remember it very well. So
All right. Do you remember the big Christmas program we would have with Miss Nolan?
oh yeah.
Remember how she always made you work for that? She made you prepare, prepare, prepare. Do you have any stories about that?
Yeah. Um, we we were all prepared for ours. We were doing a great job, and we were singing one of our songs, and every single person except one got tickled, and so there was only one person singing, and everybody else was laughing, and she got mad and made us sing it again in front of everybody.
Oh no!
Give them a encore performance.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what she said, but it was something to the effect of, "That was unacceptable. We're going to do that again."
Yeah, she did not play around with her performances.
Uh,
Uh, you may remember this, Karen, but remember the alumni chorus that they had?
yes, and I never did get to be a part of that. I can't,
Because we had Kenny on here earlier talking about it.
yeah, I never did get to be a part of that. But I have a CD they made, and it's beautiful.
Oh man. Um, I think it was the Generations. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
what
that's
it
I
what they
think
were
was.
that's
called. I
right.
was
It was the
thinking of that earlier.
Generations. That was their
Yeah,
name. It was the
It was.
Generations.
right. Yep. Yep.
And I remember. Let's see. Do you remember, Karen? Do you have any funny stories or fond stories about the open house you would have on the not the day of the program, but on the that Wednesday or Thursday before, where you would go into the rec center and you would just eat all the snacks and see Santa? Do you have any funny stories or fond stories or memories about that?
Well, we didn't do that. I don't remember them doing that when I was there.
Oh man.
Santa did come to our Christmas party on
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, the one that we had on the
Mm-hmm.
Thursday, the day
Ah, so
that
you
we
did
got
a
to
little
go home.
different.
But we didn't. He did.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time I got to see him. So that must have
Ah,
been after I
because
left.
when me, Matt, and Jamie were there, they did a little differently. They did we would have this open house for the dorm on Wednesday or Thursday, and then we would have the party on Fridays.
Yeah, ours was. We had it on our. I think that our Christmas programs was that Thursday morning, and then at noon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I remember that. It was every for us it was Friday, but you all might remember it was from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. We had our concerts.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And
Yep.
Oh
it
yeah.
was a big thing too because we did, the violins and the viola and
Oh
cellos, and
yeah.
then eventually, you had all the other
Mm-hmm.
band instruments come in and
Oh
play with
yeah.
us. But I remember, and I got to bring this up because I remember the nursing home
Mm.
things that we did. We would go to the nursing home every. Uh,
Yes, I
yeah,
remember
we'd
that.
go to the nursing home and we would perform for them. And I remember we were in practice one time, and I was on the violin, and we were playing, I think, Amazing Grace. And I think
Mm-hmm.
at the very end, I'd played like one or two notes. Like I would add like one or two notes that shouldn't have been there,
Mm-hmm.
and they just got all over me for that.
Oh, I know. Yeah. If you messed up,
we did that too.
just the
We'd go to
slightest,
nursing
they
home.
got on you. So, Karen, did you ever did you in the chorus or orchestra play at? It was the Masonic Home. Did you guys ever play there? Oh, we're having some difficulty. So yeah, I remember that we would play there, and we had it had to be
I think I've
spot
lost
on.
everybody.
Oh
okay.
no, there we are.
There you are.
All right. So Karen, do you remember playing at the Masonic Home by chance around Christmas time with the chorus or the orchestra?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost someone. All right, so we'll handle this. So yeah, Jamie, do you remember playing at the Masonic Home by chance?
Yeah, and I think one year my grandmother was there because it was a home where my great aunt, was living,
Mm-hmm.
and I think my grandmother was there at the time to watch me play, and I remember seeing her out in the audience, and that was really fun. But yeah, I remember us doing that, and we would play Christmas carols and stuff for them, and
Oh yeah, we
the little
played not
ladies,
only
they
the
loved it.
Suzuki stuff, the Christmas stuff. We played the hymns. We did it all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, buddy, we did.
We didn't gimp on the quality. We did everything and we did it right.
We were there for the long term, and I remember especially one time it was Sean and Michael Cleveland.
Oh
and
yes.
They played the Orange Blossom Special, and I think they
Mm-hmm.
played something else. And these were things that I was never really good at playing, but these
Mm-hmm.
guys were on that stage, and they
They
brought
were
it up.
rock stars at that.
Yeah.
I think Sean Brock is a professional musician right now.
Man.
I know some. I think that's what he does. Michael Cleveland won a Grammy
Yes, he
last
did.
year.
Wow.
Bluegrass record.
Yes. So yeah, KSB I think brought a lot of great memories for us. A lot of great traditions that I'm hoping will continue after this little world situation is over. Um, I really hope so because I would hate for the newer generation to not get to experience these great traditions. So, real quick before we close out, do you guys have any final thoughts or anything you would like to say to the students of KSB that are currently attending school there as we speak?
Well, I would just like to say to them, uh, enjoy your youth while it's there.
Yeah.
I know sometimes life can get hard, and KSB can be difficult
Oh
at
yeah.
times, just like any
Oh
school
yeah.
can. But and as far as today, in today's world, it's very different.
Oh yeah. Everything's
And it's
virtual
like
and
I would just say to them, of course, kids nowadays probably want to go to school because they've been at home, stuck at home so long. So what I would say is keep your hopes up. It will get back. The vaccines are coming
yes, they
in,
are.
and you will get to go back to school. Because KSB, are they still doing virtual?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. They're still doing virtual.
Virtual.
They're still on virtual learning.
So kids, you'll be able to come back to the actual school soon.
Yes.
And you will get to experience all of the great and not so great things that everybody
Oh yeah.
experiences
Oh
when
yeah.
they're
Oh yeah.
going to school. And just happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff. And hang in there.
All right, Matt. What about you?
I just want to say to all these young kids that are kind of dealing with all of this, because I have a daughter myself, and I know that she wants to be back in school. She wants to be back, talking to her friends and things. But I would say to all of the KSB kids and alumni even that I know times are rough, but when you go back to the school, eventually you are taking part in a legacy that we've all been a part of that you're going to be a part of a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and you're gonna have teachers and people that care about you. And yeah, times are going to be different, and things are going to be done a different way. But you're going to be this is going to be a beautiful thing when things do get back to normal. And I'd like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to all of you all. And thanks for having me on.
All right, so before we wrap up, I do want to do a quick housekeeping note. This is the final episode of season 2. Season 3 will be starting in early January after the holiday break. So to all KSB students and staff, I want to say, just like these guys have said, hang in there. I know it's rough right now, and I know it's not the funnest thing in the world, but you'll get through it, and you'll get to be part of this great legacy that is KSB, and you'll get to lead it into the next decade and going on and going forward. So, things might get a little hard at times, but just remember, this is part of the KSB experience. And to everybody out there listening, I want to wish you all, along with us fine folks here tonight, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, stay warm, stay safe, stay healthy. And I will see you guys in January with the beginning of season 3 of The Blind Side. Until next time, I've been your host, Blind Metal Gamer, saying so long, everyone. Happy holidays and good night.